All right, fatigue makes a coward of us all. What do I mean by that? I mean, when you're so tired, if you've ever been so fucking exhausted, where walking sounds like the worst thing you could ever do, moving, getting up off of the ground sounds fucking terrible. You've actually hit that point where fatigue has created a coward of you. Something as simple as walking and moving that you have the ability to do, you no longer want to do it. And that's what I mean by fatigue makes a coward of us all. So how do we fight that? How do we mitigate having so much fatigue that when you look at the programming that was set for you, you dread every moment of it? Now, I understand not liking a specific movement, but understanding, hey, I'm a good responder to it, so it's going to help me. I get that. But being so fatigued that you look at your programming and you say, I don't want to fucking squat. I don't want to fucking deadlift. I'm beat to shit. I don't want to do that. So how do we fight that? We learn how to bake deloads into our programming. And what does that mean? That means that you're going to have a 12, 16-week program. You're going to have a deload week baked into it. Because if you're going 12 weeks hard, which is, kind of what we want to eventually get to with all of our, any athlete, is be able to go through a full program, deload after the program, and, take a moment off and then go into the next block. Go through one block, deload, next block of training. You're going to bake those in. So for like Gen Pop, you're baking in some deloads. And your client might not even know it, right? If you're training somebody, your athlete, they're not even going to realize that it's a deload unless you tell them, hey, you're deloading today. We're going to deload for the next 3 sessions. And then they'll be like, what is that? Well, that means we're dropping down to 65-ish% of your normal load or the amount of reps you're doing, right? We're still going to get a stimulus from this. We're still going to, gain muscle, gain hypertrophy, gain strength from all this, because it's going to allow you to recover. Physically, it's going to allow you to recover. A lot of times mentally, it's going to allow you to recover because it beats on you. Physical fatigue is rough, but what I've noticed and what I've seen is mental fatigue is usually the worst. When you're day after day doing the same shit that you actually fucking hate, but you just do it because you feel like you're supposed to, that's going to wear down on you mentally way more than it'll wear down on you physically, because you're just going through the motions anyways. But mental fatigue is just as bad, if not worse than physical. And how do we, as humans, right, how do we get away from mental fatigue or kind of relieve ourselves from a little mental fatigue? So if you're working in a job, let's say you have a full-time job and you're working in this job that has you pulled in a lot of different directions, you need to start prioritizing specific things, because your job, you might need it for money, right? You got to pay bills. But learning how to really prioritize the needs and not prioritizing the wants for that kind of stuff, that's going to help you. Waking up at a good time to go outside and get some sun, going to sleep at the right hour every night, right? A lot of people talk about wake up early so you can do shit, when the real kind of cheat code for that is going to sleep at the same time every single day. We'll talk about sleep in another video that's going to help with recovery, fatigue, all that good shit. But sleeping at the same hour every night, it's going to help you help your mental fatigue. And then, like I said, if you're doing the same program every day, day in and day out, and I get it. Sometimes those programs, they just fucking work, and you want to keep doing it because you're seeing the progress. But mentally, you're dreading going into the gym every day. Then you're going to need to take a day or two away. Take a long weekend. Just go away from it. Don't jump off your diet and completely go off the rails, but take a long weekend. Take a day where you kind of eat whatever the fuck you want. You eat like an asshole, and that's going to help you mentally a little bit. Don't go too crazy, because sometimes you'll eat like an asshole and wake up the next morning super bloated and fucked up, and you'd be like, fuck, I feel even worse mentally now because I ate like a piece of shit than I did yesterday when I wanted to do it, right? So we got to manage that. And managing fatigue is difficult. You know, you see the science-based guys where they're like, hey, I'm going to do 5 sets of 5 reps so I can manage fatigue, and I'm still going to grow just as much as the dude that's doing the Arnold plan. He's not. He's not going to grow as much. If he were, then all the fucking really stringy, nerdy fucking science dudes would be fucking huge and jacked. But they're not. They just aren't, right? So you got the old school like Branch Warren, where the fatigue wasn't even a fucking word in that guy's vocabulary. But he worked because he worked fucking hard. He also juice, right? We're on gear there. But he ate like a monster, and I guarantee he fucking slept well, right? Or at least like tried to optimize his sleep enough to where he can fucking sleep all night, wake up and do it again the next day. So that's what we're talking about when we come down to fatigue. You're going to have your volume with intensity. That's going to create your hypertrophy and your strength, and that's going to give you results. But on top of that, you got to manage the fatigue. You can't just go extremely hard every fucking day and expect to not be worn down and beat up by the end of the week. You want to continuously run this, because getting in shape, getting super fucking strong, that's a marathon, man. That's not a sprint that we do in a month. It's a marathon that we do over years. I was watching this interview with John Hack, and he was talking about wanting to hit a bunch of records. And instead of being like, I'm gonna hit all these fucking records in 1 year, he's like, I'm gonna have a 3 and 5 year plan. And he just wanted to add a couple kilos to his lifts every competition. And that's because he does a training block, has a deload to manage all the fatigue he's got. Then he has another training block into another competition. So if the best in the world are having a lot of volume and intensity and managing the fucking fatigue, then there's no reason why we should be trying to just go 7 days a week as hard as fucking possible, because we know we're not gonna get results from it. The guy that you see in the gym every fucking day that only grabs the 35s for curls and only benches 135, but he's there every fucking day. He's going hard every day. It's one of the things he doesn't understand programming. 2, he doesn't understand managing fatigue. So let's not make the mistake of letting fatigue make a coward of us all. Peace.